Welcome to this lesson on line integrals with respect to arc length. In Calculus 3, we learn to integrate functions not just along a straight line like the x-axis, but along curvy paths in space. Today, we will understand what this means geometrically and derive the formula involving the magnitude of the derivative vector. Let's start with a picture. Imagine a curve C lying on the ground. Now, imagine a function f of xy giving the height of a fence or curtain standing on top of that curve. The line integral simply calculates the total area of one side of this curtain. We are summing up the height times a tiny piece of arc length, ds, along the entire curve. To actually calculate this, we cannot stay in x and y coordinates because the curve bends. We need to parameterize the curve. This means expressing the position on the curve using a single time variable, t. We define a vector function r of t, where t goes from a start time, a, to an end time, b. Here is the most important concept. In a regular integral, we have dx here, we have ds, which represents a tiny step along the curve. We can replace ds with the magnitude of r prime of t times dt. Think of this as distance equals speed times time. The magnitude of the derivative is your speed. Putting it all together, we transform the line integral into a standard definite integral. We replace the function inputs x and y with their parametric equations. Then, we replace ds with the speed factor. Now, we have an integral entirely in terms of t, which we can solve using Calculus 1 techniques. Here is your step-by-step recipe. First, find the parameterization r of t for your curve. Second, take the derivative to find r prime of t. Third, find the magnitude or length of that derivative vector. Finally, substitute everything into the integral formula and evaluate it. Let's try a concrete example. We want to integrate the function 2 plus x squared y over the upper half of the unit circle. Here, our path C is the semicircle with radius 1. Step 1 is parameterization. For a unit circle, it is standard to use cosine t and sine t since we only want the upper half. T ranges from 0 to pi. We also compute the derivative vector, which gives us negative sine t and cosine t. Step 2 is finding the magnitude. We take the square root of the sum of the components squared. Using the identity sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, we find that the magnitude is simply 1. This makes sense because we are moving at a constant speed of 1 along the unit circle. Finally, we set up the integral. We replace x with cosine t, y with sine t, and ds with 1 dt. We then integrate from 0 to pi. The integral of cosine squared t times sine t can be solved with a simple u substitution. After evaluating the bounds, we get a final answer of 2 pi plus 2/3. To wrap up, remember that line integrals accumulate values along a path. The key to solving them is converting the arc length element ds into dt by multiplying by the speed, which is the magnitude of the velocity vector r prime of t. Always start by parameterizing your curve.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.